This is the Dallas Morning News.
It's Thursday, July 31st. A mix of sun and clouds today, but it will be a hot one with the anticipated high of 105, set to challenge the record set on this day in 2012. Caution is advised if you have to spend any time outside today. Mostly clear this evening with an overnight low of 79. Here are today's headlines. 6 people were taken to a local hospital and 9 people were treated at the scene by Dallas Fire Rescue after a fire involving a DART train occurred Wednesday. Between 10 to 15 people were evacuated from one of the transit cars after a fire was reported on the train near the Pearl and Arts District station. Of the evacuees, 6 were taken for medical attention for issues ranging from difficulty breathing to minor burns, but none of the concerns were considered life-threatening. It was not clear how many people were on the train when the fire broke out. The fire resulted in the suspension of the transit agency's service through downtown Dallas during the height of the evening rush hour commute. The transit agency said passengers should expect delays as a result of the late afternoon incident. It was not immediately clear what caused the fire. In other news, a ban on retail products containing THC won overwhelming support for the second time this year in the Texas Senate on Wednesday, even as the shadow of another veto by Governor Greg Abbott hangs over its passage into law. Senate Bill 5 would criminalize gummies, vapes, drinks, snacks, and smokable flowers containing any amount of THC, the psychoactive compound in cannabis plants. The proposed ban passed the Senate on a 20-9 vote and now goes to the House for consideration, in spite of Abbott's instructions to lawmakers to enact regulations that would allow the products to continue being sold to adults under tight limits. An immediate partisan breakdown of the vote was not available. Abbott vetoed a similar ban in June, saying the bill that passed during the regular session threatened the state's agricultural industry and ran counter to 2018 federal farm legislation that legalized hemp products. He added that it infringed on the rights of adults and made criminals out of veterans and parents. Next up, frustration over the way Texas uses computers to grade students' essays on the STAAR test is building after Dallas ISD officials again saw more than one-third of the exams they submitted for review come back with higher scores. When districts asked the Texas Education Agency to rescore an exam, the process is completed by a human rather than a computer. The new results don't arrive for weeks after school ends, leaving some students in limbo, thinking they failed the state standardized test and might have to take a remedial class or miss out on athletics. Of the 5,400 STAAR tests the Dallas Independent School District sent for rescoring, 35% showed improvement. That's according to data provided by the district to the Dallas Morning News. Last year, district officials requested the review of more than 4,600 answers, and roughly 43% came back with additional points. And a whiff of optimism has spilled into the Pleasant Grove community, with improvements led by the Loop Dallas, a nonprofit that's steering a mammoth 50-mile trail around the city. The project will bring the city's largest trail network to the doorsteps of residents, and with it, the hope of mixed-income homeowners and a grocery store. A spokesperson for Loop Dallas said, "Good, safe infrastructure has such an opportunity to change a community." Traffic cones, workers in safety vests, and construction hats dot the area around a two-way bridge on Lake June Road that once had crumbling edges and no sidewalks. It was often the only way for residents from the Pemberton Hill neighborhood to get to the nearest full grocery store after Texas extended the U.S. Route 175 and cut the neighborhood from the larger Pleasant Grove community. The new bridge will have bike lanes and pedestrian walkways that connect to an elevated bridge along U.S. Route 175. It's part of the 9-mile Trinity Forest Spine Trail, which will connect White Rock Lake, run through the Great Trinity Forest and connect with the AT&T Trail to the south. The trail is the most ambitious project the group has embarked on. The first segment of the trail, which improved accessibility for underserved neighborhoods in Far East Dallas, opened off Ferguson Road toward Samuel Boulevard in 2023 and connects to the Santa Fe Trail. Thanks for listening. For more on today's stories and the latest breaking news, visit dallasnews.com. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more from the Dallas Morning News.